All right, last minute, man. Coming to you from my deer woods, and I just saw a deer. And my wonderful German Shepherd Liberty saw it upon herself to defend my life and protect me from that deer. Thanks, Liberty. Thank you. But anyway, so I'm out here scouting around in the deer woods looking. I've got a hunting party coming up. A few people coming to hunt this deer season, and I'm excited about that. I like to share this with friends and family and be able to do that. But yeah, so we're out here just walking around on this beautiful Labor Day and checking around in my woods, where I keep a path cut where I can actually drive a side-by-side through. We've got some other parts of the property that are a little more dense woods. I kind of don't want people shooting over there though, because I've got a lot of maple trees and some really nice white oaks and stuff that are kind of valuable. I don't want to endanger anything there. On the center part of my property, over to where Mr. Obvious and I shoot a lot, where you see us do the long range, our 400-yard shots. That is not as densely forested. It's stuff like this when you do see forest, we're talking 15-year growth here, nothing special. But so anyway, it could use a culling anyway. But I'm just out here enjoying myself. Mr. Obvious and I, if we don't have something interesting to bring you, I typically don't put out like a standard video. And that's why you see us hit or miss, folks. If we don't have anything to show you, we don't have anything to show you. I mean, it gets boring if I'm just saying what I say. So this is not a firearms video. This is just my thoughts. It's one of my woods talk, I call them. But if you're not into that, if that's something you're not interested in, you don't hurt my feelings, folks. It's okay. You can just turn this off and, and move on. We're just going to discuss some current topics and some things that are of interest to me, things that have been on my mind here. And I'm going to do my best not to come across as being hyperbolic or anything like that, because I think there's enough of that out there. There's enough guys out there being very negative and things. Anybody can be negative. Let's be positive, okay? I think we have a really good shot at the country taking a turn for the best, okay? I think there's a bright future. I think things can go very well. I'm not going to tell anybody who to vote for. That's not what I do. You can probably guess who I'm voting for. I am a firearms enthusiast, and I do believe in the Constitution as written. We shouldn't be taking away people's rights. So that's the way I feel about it. So you can kind of guess where I'm going. But yeah, man, you do you. Everybody's got their reasons. People I respect greatly that are in my family, even World War II vets and whatnot, that they would vote Democrat, man, come hell or high water. They're voting Democrat. And you could argue till you're blue in the face, and that's just what they were going to do. And I held them in very high regard, obviously, and we should. But let's be patient with each other, But anyway, I'm seeing a lot of this stuff on the news here lately, which I probably shouldn't even be watching. But a lot of stuff on the news where they're talking about this Aurora, Colorado, these shenanigans going on there, where supposed Venezuelan gangs are taking over apartment complex and things like that. And I'm watching this just thinking to myself, something's missing here. There's got to be more to this story. I cannot believe that in the United States of America, even Colorado, that there aren't, 2 or 3 other a-holes like me in that apartment complex that have firearms. Okay. Not only that, have AR-15s, things of that nature, or even a shotgun. Nobody has anything like that and is willing to stand their ground and defend their home. I'm not buying it. I'm kind of feeling like this might be a situation where, and I don't know this is just my opinion, folks. Okay. So maybe you know more than I know. I kind of tune in for a little bit and tune out. But it kind of seems like, when a drug dealer and a guy buying drugs get in a fight, they don't call the police. Okay. You get what I'm saying? That's kind of what I think's going on here. I'm wondering if there isn't a lot of illegal activity going on there. But there were innocent bystanders. They're the ones filming, and they were scared to death, and rightfully so. And I watched one woman, a lady, called the law enforcement, called 911, and they wouldn't even come. So that's frightening. That's pretty scary that that's happening in the United States. And I see how it's scary to somebody who's never thought this way, but to my viewers and people like me, like-minded individuals, I take my I take responsibility for myself, okay? And I'm titling this one, "No One's Coming to Save You," okay? Because they're not. You've got to defend yourself. That comes to, what you eat, what you put into your body. That's your responsibility, okay? It's if you're smoking cigarettes, then you get lung cancer. You can't blame the cigarette makers. It's not like these have vitamins on them on the cover. That hasn't been done in a long, long time. So take some responsibility. We make choices. We make different choices in our lives that can be either good or bad. But if you don't believe that you need to own a firearm and know how to use it, that's a choice. And in this situation, that would have been a bad choice. I can tell you this: if somebody's trying to kick in my door, I'm not gonna yell at them. Okay, I'm gonna be throwing lead back in their direction, and that's here in the state of Kentucky. I don't know what the laws are where you live. Things may be completely different for you, and not to put too fine a point on that, but where you live is a choice. I don't, again, I've had people tell me, well, what if you grow up poor? I don't know, man. I don't know what to tell you. I know I would pick a direction and start walking till I'm out of these cities. And first place I came to that looked pretty nice, I'd try to get a job. That's just me. All right. I grew up in the city. When I got out of the military, I said, I don't want to live here. Okay. I bought a house in the suburbs of said town, and it was pretty bad. I mean, the drugs and crime were in a pretty nice area, I thought. When I grew up, that was the area everybody wanted to go to. And then I was able to afford it, so I guess we kind of the standard came down. But yeah, so I sold that place and came out here and bought some property, and I did it just in time, I guess, because I could afford it. But I made a decision. I made a choice, and I said, I'm frankly, it was getting so bad. I thought I'm going to either end up getting attacked, or I'm going to end up killing somebody, having to defend myself, kill somebody. So I left. I moved. And there are people leaving that complex and things like that. But I just wanted to get this out there that no one's coming to save you. You've got to make choices. Okay. Exercise your rights, get a firearm, know how to use it. And people say, oh man, you'll go to jail if you defend yourself. Listen, I don't think there's a jury other than Washington, D.C. and New York, maybe L.A., where if somebody's trying to kick in my door and I've got my family in the house and they've got AR-15s, I don't think there's a jury that would convict me if I shoot those guys in the fence. I really don't. I would take that to court. I'd rather do that than suffer the consequence of allowing them into my home. And I mean, what do you think they're going to do? They're banging on your door and they've got rifles. They're not going to come in and play tiddlywinks with you. Okay. They're coming in to kill you. So, yeah, use lethal force back. You have a right to defend yourself. That's my understanding anywhere in the United States, but I don't know. Different municipalities have weird laws and things. So last minute man isn't telling you to break the law. I'm not an attorney. Okay. But, yeah, I just can't imagine, there's a longer discussion to be had too. You have people to bring up Kyle Rittenhouse and what happened to him. And he was 17 years old and that was not his home. And I'm glad that he didn't go through any jail time or anything. He wasn't breaking the law. However, it's kind of like I always say, situational awareness. If my nephew said, hey, uncle, I'm going to go defend a car lot and I'd say, no, you're not. No, you're not. Let that guy defend his car lot. You stay home, okay? You stay home, nephew. So where was that stable adult in his life that could say? And furthermore, these guys that were with, you get my point, I think. I'm not saying anybody did any, and I'm glad there's guys out there that want to defend things, guys. Okay, but you defend your own property, or, like I said, a 17-year-old shouldn't be the one out there doing it. Okay, I've been in combat and everything else, okay? And I would never send a 17-year-old kid with no training to stop a riot. That's just not going to be pretty. But anyway, yeah, I don't know. I went off on a tangent there, but let me know what you think in the comments. Trying not to be hyperbolic here. We're in an election year, and I think things are going to go good for us, okay? For the second 2A community and everything, I think things are going to go very well. I do. We got to get out and vote, though. You got to inform people. If you've, take the time at the dinner table, if you're with family and you may have somebody argue with you, but I still bring it up to them and I'll talk to them. And, if I can't help family, who can I help, So I do my best. Actually, most people in my family align with me kind of commonsensically. And I can be liberal in ways. There's things that I'm not really strict on, like this IVF stuff. I've heard a lot of other conservatives, or they're like the pro-life movement's against it. I don't understand that. Maybe somebody can explain that to me. I don't think IVF is a bad thing at all. I'm confused. So anyway, so I guess I'm liberal on that, because a lot of conservatives seem to be against it. I don't believe the government should be paying for it, but nonetheless, it should be accessible, I guess, to anybody that, is having difficulty having children. So, I think more babies are better. I don't know. But anyway, keep your knives sharp, keep your powder dry. Subscribe to Last Minute Man. Watch us on Rumble.